r/askreddit. What's the adult version of There Is No Santa Claus?
Retirement is not a physical age. It is a financial state.
Exactly. If one doesn't prepare by saving for retirement, there will be no retirement. It's not a present that happens when one reaches an age. It's what happens when your financial target is met.
Lots of people were the smartest kid in their high school.
I feel personally attacked. Still working on my first undergraduate, 9 years out of high school.
Me too. You will get there. Don't give up.
My life will really begin when X happens. Right now is just a phase.
John Lennon said it best. Life is what happens to you while you're busy making other plans.
Promotions aren't always merit-based, and senior management, people don't actually know what they're doing.
I got a pretty serious promotion recently that I didn't have the required education for just by smiling at everyone and pretending to be positive and friendly. It wasn't worth it, though, because now I can't draw a line between me pretending to be friendly and me just being friendly, so now I think I'm slowly becoming naturally pleasant to be around.
It could happen to you. Beware.
That sometimes terrible people will just keep being terrible and never have a change of heart or anything negative come of it. That often they'll benefit from being terrible. But I'd like to believe that no matter what, at least I don't have to spend my life being that person, and I'll be happier with even moderate success that isn't created by being an impossibly shitty person. And that's the closest I'll get to holiday spirit, even though there is no Santa.
It is a great personal pain for me to realize this. There's one who is a terrible, awful human to my girlfriend, and to know that there will be no repercussions for his actions really just shook my foundation on how I saw the world.
I believe over time we will cure poverty, disease, and have world peace. Unfortunately, there is no cure for being a cunt.
Rhetoric wins over logic/reality.
I'm an idiot, so can someone explain like I'm 5?
Sometimes a smooth talker can be more convincing than someone plainly stating facts.
When you realize that Santa is indeed real, and it's you.
Well, crap. That sounds expensive.
There is no such thing as the one in terms of relationships. You are potentially compatible with a great many people, and probably some people you wouldn't expect. Whether or not you ever meet them, or give them a shot, is a whole other thing. But the fairy tale idea that we are destined to be with one person in particular is surprisingly common among grown adults.
When they hire you on the spot, it's not because you're an amazing person with so many credentials. It's because it's a really shitty job and they desperately need to fill it for the 3rd time this month.
Sex isn't always good. My first partner was amazing. After a year or so with her, we broke up and I was with someone else. It sort of crushed me when the sex/chemistry was so bad I couldn't even keep an erection half the time.
But that's okay. If you try to knock it out of the park every time, you're going to get really frustrated. Yes, there will be bad sessions, but there are also perfectly fine okay sessions for both parties.
There are terrible, awful people in the world that get away with all of it and die peacefully in their sleep with no repercussions. There are people with hearts of gold who get continually fucked by life for no goddamn reason. The adult version of There's No Santa is the universe doesn't care.
Going to college doesn't guarantee you a good job.
But it does guarantee you need to find one to pay off your student debt.
You're a hard worker. You're fired anyway because we're reducing headcount. But I was told working hard meant, yay, Santa Claus.
Hard work only matters if that industry needs workers.
Well, and it's cheap to tell someone they're a hard worker. I've seen lots of layoffs that take place together, and some are cut because of business reasons and others are deadwood that is safer to cut at the same time. Both groups get told that they're hard workers. It just makes things go easier.
You probably won't have summers off.
Probably. I'd say it's a little more definitive than probably.
Unless you're a teacher.
For me, it was finding out those shit TV shows are all more or less staged.
That show with the custom fish tanked. I watched a few episodes one day and I realized it was scripted from one incident. They were making one for a client with an old pinball machine. They had this glass backing to a vintage one they found and went on about how it was rare and they would never find another one. When they were moving it, it fell and shattered into 1,000,000 pieces. I realized immediately that the glass that shattered was colored, but I could tell it didn't even closely resemble the real thing.
You can be skilled, charismatic, talented, successful, and be good-looking, but that will still never be enough for some people.
You can be the ripest, juiciest peach on the tree, and someone out there will still not like peaches. Quote, I heard from Reddit a while ago.
You really do have to do taxes yearly.
I've saved millions in taxes by not earning enough to pay taxes.
The only thing worse than paying taxes is not needing to.
The winners on The Price is Right can't take the item home until they pay the sales tax. So if you are broke and win a car, you can't even have the car. My world was shattered.
Okay, but you only pay $1,200 for a new car if that car costs $20,000 on Michigan sales tax anyway. It's not a free car, but it's pretty effing sweet deal.
If you work hard and are loyal to your company, they will be loyal to you. The sad reality is most large companies don't care anymore and will lay you off after being there for 10 years even if you were a devoted and hard-working employee. Always have a 6 months pay in the bank and always be networking to have your next job lined up.
College is a business.
The idea that once you graduate college or get married or buy your first house or have your first child that you'll reach happiness and stay there the rest of your life, save for the occasional sadness from death of a friend or loved one. Happiness will go up and down. Nothing is permanent. Just got to maximize and enjoy the happy times when you have them.
I'll just skip the last 3 and spend my money on fast food when I feel depressed.
You aren't getting paid based on how good you are. You are paid based on how hard you are to replace.
This is part of the story, but not all of it. I'm a college prof and I tell PhD applicants that success is based on 2 axes: how necessary your skill set is and how unique your skill set is. So a professor in the humanities like me makes a relatively crappy wage because while my skills are unique, I'm hard to replace. They're not perceived as necessary by society. I'm stuck on one axis. A sanitation worker is stuck on the other axis. Their skills are totally necessary but not unique. A cardio C surgeon is far from both axes and thus makes a damn good salary.
Mind blown. Not by the facts, but by the facts being put into easy-to-understand words. I've always struggled to put this into words.
Working hard isn't enough to make it. You are more likely to make it if you know the right person and get lucky on top of it.
I like to say it's not what you know. It's who you blow. I've been passed up for a promotion because I get more done in a day than others in 2 days. The guy who got the promotion was known to be lazy and entitled and constantly leaving others high and dry. But he also had the same hobby as the manager who promoted him.
Not quite an adult thing, but finding out that your degree doesn't automatically get you a job after graduation, and how much more important work experience is than education.
On top of that, while you learn a lot of stuff in college, most of it won't really be relevant in your job, and you'll learn everything for your job as you go. It's great that you can calculate differential equations by hand, but if you ever actually need that in the real world, you'll rely on a computer program to do it, and you'll have to learn that program as you go. Frankly, most companies won't want a person to do calculations a computer can do because the margin of error for a computer is exponentially smaller than that of a human.
The average person is a far lot less intelligent than you think. Seriously.
And half of them are even dumber than that.
Somebody you know hates you for no reason. They probably don't even know why themselves. And no matter how hard you try, no matter what you do in life, you will never, ever change that.
There are no hot singles in your area.